Hello and welcome to Monotangle Monday. Today we're going to do the tangle called Changing, and we're going to work on a 5 tile. So Changing, if you have ever seen it on the internet, might look a little bit different than how I do it. So I learned this when I got my Zentangle teacher certification in 2011. And now they've kind of changed it to where it's actually the beginning of another tangle. But so we're going to do Changing the way that I learned it. Okay, and this one takes a little bit of practice, but it's really fun to do and it's really, really pretty. We don't need a frame or anything. So I am going to start by making a little kind of curved V like this. And as you've noticed here, this part is longer than this part. Okay, and that's kind of important, at least for the beginning. Okay, I zoomed in so that you can see that a little bit better. So that's important for the beginning. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a set of lines that come out here. Okay, and we're going to try to make sure that we touch these lines. And that's one of the reasons that this line here is important. And we don't want to go too far past these lines that we've drawn already. But at least in the beginning, we want the second line to be longer than the first line. And you'll kind of see why. So I made that one tiny bit longer. And if you do draw a line and it doesn't reach, you could just pop that extra line in there that you need. Sometimes it's hard to know where you're actually going to draw, and so you can just add that in there. So as you get further down, the evenness of the line doesn't matter as much as it did in the beginning. Okay, so this is basically how you do Changing. So what I'm going to do is finish it off a little different. Like usually when we first learned it, we just kind of left it like that. But I'm just going to finish this off by kind of making that close off like that. And this one, I think what I want to do is, I guess I can do about the same thing. So I'm turning it around just so I can have the right angle. And I think that means that I want to go like this. And then over like this. Okay. So they're all kind of finished like this. So then the next thing that we would do is all these little spaces here that are white spaces, we could color them in. And if you want to have bigger spaces, like if you don't want these little tiny ones, then You could start up more to draw your lines. Okay, now we're gonna shade it. So I think that looks pretty cute. So just to shade it, I don't really do a whole lot. So I'm just gonna add a little tiny bit of pencil on the right hand side. So one of the only times I like to use my eraser is if I accidentally get some shading on the edge. So, okay, got rid of that. Okay, and then we need to put some over here too. All right, and then I'm also gonna add a little bit here on the curves right here of this side. You could do a lot more than just shade this. If you wanted, you could totally add some other tangles in there, add maybe an aura on the inside, you know, do something like really fun. But this is the basic. So I'm showing you the basic right now. And that is basically how you do changing.